は一体何なんだ。オダチだ。What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another Sinoalice video here on the channel. And today, guys, I just wanted to do a brief talk. We don't really have a big update this week. We did get this new Abyss stage, which is basically a tower mode. So most of the video we're going to be talking about that. But before we get into that and all the decisions for that, for how the shop goes, I did want to talk about the story chapters added. We did get quite a bit of story for Active Hatred. So if I go back to normal, you guys will see here, you guys will basically have everything in normal unlocked, except for the final character, which is Aladdin, which we could get him maybe for the 6-month anniversary. It could be a whole year. Who knows when they decide to drop him. From what I understand, he was like a year and change, or maybe almost 2 years in the game. Not quite sure completely, but he was a while, so it makes sense why we don't have him yet. We did get Dorothy and Three Little Pigs pretty late in retrospect as far as adding new characters to the game, so I could see him coming way down the line. But in any case, even without him, they decided to add Chapter 5, which means once they added Chapter 5, they then added hard mode for Active Hatred, which means a ton of new currency you guys can get. So I was not aware of this the whole time in the game. So basically, when you guys go to a chapter, and this is just to explain why there is so much currency for you guys to get. So if you guys are complaining that you don't have gems, you have you have access to a lot of getting gems free to play right now. So when you enter a stage, you're gonna see here, you scroll over here, you have these 3 objectives, right? Clear within 5 minutes remaining, clear without using a continue, clear using Snow White. Okay. For a lot of these, they're just going to be clear without using a continue and use a specific weapon, or just use any weapon skill. There's usually only the first and last chapter you're going to have using a specific character. And remember, you are going to get the character bonuses for that particular chapter. So make sure you do that, so you'll get more DPS or more buffs or debuffs or healing or whatever you're doing. So, but I originally thought when you normally clear a stage, you'll see like, oh, you cleared the stage, you get a crystal. It's like, oh, you cleared these 3 objectives, you get another crystal. I thought you only got 2 originally, and that's what I was told for the longest time until like yesterday, when my boy Cappy in the Discord was like, no, you actually get 1 crystal for each of those objectives. So the clear 5 minutes remaining, clear without using a continue, and clear using snow. You actually get a crystal for each one of those. So even if you can't complete like all 3, like say you can't beat it without continuing, you will have to, I believe it's 10 gems to continue. So you do go negative 10, you will go negative like 6 gems if you have to do that. But it still is an option if you're like really just trying to get like closer to the Arcana for either Alice Paladin or Alice Breaker, depending if you're working on Act 1 or 2. But if you do this without using any crystals to revive, you will get 5 crystals for every chapter, which is pretty nuts. So if we just do the hard mode calculation, right? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. So I believe there's 38 total. So 38 times 5. I want to say it was something like 1,850 or something like that, or 1,800 total crystals you could get if you haven't done anything of Active Hatred. But, so if you just want to divide that by 2, basically, you're looking at like probably close to 900 to 1,000 crystals you guys are able to get for just clearing out hard mode. Now, to say completely clearing out hard mode is probably not going to be the easiest thing to do. I would say if you guys have been playing since day 1, getting through Chapter 3 is very attainable, whether you're a DPS or a support. But right now, I'm stuck on just the first verse in Chapter 5, simply because I haven't had anyone that's shown up randomly in my friends list, and my guild is not ready there yet, and people in Elite that I also collaborate with are not quite at Chapter 5 yet, just because either they haven't had time or they've been focusing on other things. But I recommend this week, until we get a new event, to focus on getting as much story done as you can. Because right now, the only other event we have is the Memory of Judgment event, right? That's all we got besides our, our resource grind stuff. Which there's only 3 days left on that, so we probably are going to get a new event in 3 days, which should be Monday, more than likely. I would assume it's going to be the reality event, or it could be something completely different, but reality should be very, very soon coming to the game. But most guilds are probably completely done with this event. Like, we were done a while ago. I think I actually had 2 days where I was just doing resource grinding for like my daily purifications. But yeah, we're like super over it. We had 633,000 medals total farm because they gave us those extra bonus missions to do. Doing, I believe it was like 30 co-ops in both normal and hard, give you a ton of extra of the medals. So everyone should have gotten max rewards. You should have gotten at least 50,000. What did I finish with? I finished with 85,000 personally, and I have like, if we go to my exchange, I actually have like, yeah, 3,000 cake medals I couldn't even use with the whole shop's cleaned out. So yeah, you guys should definitely be on top of the ball with that. So I would say the next 3 days, I would focus on getting as much story done as you can. I've even been using purification tickets to refresh my stamina, to even like try to make a bigger dent, because it is a lot of chapters to go through. So, but keep in mind, the story is always going to be there. It's just once we get another event which requires medal exchange, your stamina is going to be committed probably to that, because it usually comes with a guild event, and you want to do well for your guild and contribute and get points and get all the rewards and all that kind of good stuff. So, that being said, guys, just keep that in mind. Use your time wisely. Don't be like just logging in to just do, weapon farming or some weapon EXP farming. Like, take advantage of all those crystals you guys can get, so you can put them towards a future banner. Like, I went down all the way to 4,300, so I've almost gotten almost 1,000 crystals, almost in like 2 days. So it's pretty nuts. Actually, like only 1 day, because the banner dropped yesterday. Now those were from, missions, getting arcanas, getting classes up, daily logins and stuff like that. So it wasn't all from story, but probably 80% of it was just from the story chapters. So just keep that all in mind. So now to wrap up the video, let's talk about Prison of the Abyss. So like I said, this is a tower mode, which we got. Now I'm not sure, because I obviously don't play the JP version. Not sure if they bring out another Abyss every so often, but this is the first one on global. What you guys do, you guys see here, there is no additional rewards. You can do these multiple times, but all that drops is an 8 gold sack. So honestly, it's not really worth it for the amount of time and stuff. I would just, if you really need gold, just go farm the gold dungeon. But the main point here is the first time you clear it, you are going to get these first time clear rewards, which is going to be these medals, right? So right now, we can only do up to floor 40. And then you guys see here, once one more day is up, so I think tomorrow, either tomorrow or Sunday, we're going to be able to release more floors. And it looks like we're going to get to go, if we keep going down, past the 1 day. Oh, wow. Okay. Alright, so there we go. So we get to unlock all the way up to stage 80. So we'll be able to do up to stage 80 of 200. There is a total of 200 if you guys scroll all the way down. It's going to take a long time. So anytime now, game, you want to show me? Jeez. Alright. And all the floors will be unlocked within 10 days. So this event, like I said, it does say 2 weeks on it. And the only reason why it says 2 weeks is because they only release a certain amount of these per day. So if you look here, it only actually goes with the difficulty 93. So I would assume this is pretty attainable for everybody. Unless the scaling for this event for difficulty is a lot worse. The very cool thing about these floors too is there's only one wave. So they're very short. They don't take a lot of time. In the morning when I was drinking my coffee and doing dailies for other game, I just let this auto and I got all of it done. So pretty cool. I think we got something around like 86 medals or something like that through stage 40. Now, from what I heard from comments in my last video when we were talking about these prison medals in the exchange shop, which is basically the only rewards you are going to get from this is basically going to be in the exchange shop. You can only get up to 500, and there's obviously way more things to get than 500. Now, I can't remember if they said exactly, they said that like the currency will go away, but then it'll come back. But I'm pretty sure at that point in time, they will refresh the shop with other things. So I did want to make this video in combination as well to tell you what I think you should get. Now, the Criminal's Heart, I did get clarification. This is supposed to be a great boost in getting skill ups. So I say maybe just get the 50 cost one, since that is a pretty good deal. But as far as the 100 ones, probably not. I would probably pass on those. I would pass on all these armors. If you don't have them right now, there isn't a raid. I don't think that uses any of them. I don't think the one that we currently had is up. So Deep Sea, no. So none of them are up right now. So honestly, if we get these, if we get the Deep Sea raid to come back, which I think that's the only armor. Yeah, it's the only armor we have in the shop. You probably are going to get the armor event to farm it. I would just rather do that. I know it sucks grinding for the armor, but rather than waste these medals on that, I probably would do that. Granted, it is only going to cost you 100 total medals to get a complete set of whatever you're looking for. But just my opinion, I think you guys should not do that. My personal opinion. But, you know, you do you. If you really want the armors for whatever reason, even though we don't have the event active for it, you can do that. But I strongly recommend, this is probably the biggest skip of what I would skip if you're going to skip some things. Obviously, you are going to have to skip some things because you're not going to get enough currency for everything. So armor is the #1 skip. The nightmares are basically right on there. So these were all past events. We had these. We have the Puppet Dragon, the Spider, Clock Rabbit was from the very first event, and then Athena. So skip all these as well, guys, to be honest. And it's weird that Clock Rabbit you can only get once. Maybe it's because of the amount of copies I have. I don't know. Not sure. But even though they're only 50 as well, once again, you can only get 500 points total from what I've heard. So I would skip all these. Simply, even though it's like, yeah, you can put Nightmares in your substat. They may have a good ability you may want, but they all are going to get replaced by Raid Nightmares and then Gacha Nightmares and things like that. So it's just, for value for your currency that you're using to exchange, it's just very bad value overall, because they eventually, even in your subgrid, will get replaced over time. So I recommend skipping all the Nightmares, skipping all the armor. Now the kicker for if you are a Paladin, I say buying the Snowflake Spear Max Limit Broken is the biggest value to get, even over the Twilight Crystals, and hear me out. So it's a decent weapon. If we go into it here, it's a 16 cost one for sure. So for DPS people like myself who are max rank and cannot fit all their weapons, this is a very good weapon to pick up. It's got probably the second best overall Colosseum support skill with Mental Focus 2, which has a chance of increasing your magic attack when attacking. So not Dauntless Courage, but Mental Focus 2 is super good. It doesn't have even an extra effect as far as for your attacking skill goes, but you know, it is only a 16 cost weapon, has decent stats, but it does have a lot of magic attack for being a 16 cost weapon at level 60. Non-legendary is 1083. I'll go into mine real fast. I have mine at 2 limit breaks, and I can show you guys like how strong that one is real fast. So if we go to here, so I have 1780 magic attack. Then you see here with 48880 total stats at LV2. So pretty good overall, in my opinion. You know, definitely something worth investing in since it's free. On top of that, remember, not just getting, you know, it's stronger, it's going to improve your points, your stats. It's going to allow you to get higher skill levels, so you're able to do more damage at Colosseum and other content, things like that. But also, you are going to get 64 charm medals every time you limit break it. And everyone in the game should have 1 copy of this, because you did get this for your 2-week login. From what I heard, you still are able to get the spear, so you don't even have to buy this all 5 times, which would cost you 250 of the currency. I myself actually pulled 1 dupe, so I only have to buy 3 of them, which would take up 150 of my currency. So at most, you only have to spend 200 currency, because you got 1 for free, right? Now, if you're not a Paladin, if you're any other DPS, I still recommend doing it, even if you don't run it all the time in your main grid. Still, it's going to give you a lot of sub-grid points, which is really strong. And even if you're not a DPS, you could still go the route of just putting it in your sub-grid and just getting it to 120, not skill leveling it if you're a support character, or The other caveat, what you guys can consider, is when we get the recycle banner, you guys could just have 5 of these weapons to just trade in for support weapons whenever that banner decides to come to global. So that's the other big advantage. So that's why I would prioritize this. I mean, even as supports, it's not a bad thing to pick up. Obviously, you guys are all going to get the Twilight Crystals, so make sure if we only get 400 that you save in your head 100 crystals at some point, or 100 medals at some point to get those Twilight Crystals. I'm assuming when they release the next couple floors, we might get like maybe another 100 medals, depending how they scale it with, you know, each 40 floors being released. We'll have to see total where I'm at. Like I'm at 36 right now. So I'm pretty sure I'll be able to get the next 2 copies of the Spear, and I'll have that max limit broken on like Sunday or tomorrow, depending on, because it's weird. I think at Sinoalice, they don't actually show you hours, they just show you days. So if that's the case, then maybe tomorrow we get the floors. We'll have to see. But definitely get the Twilight Crystals, obviously. Free multi there. And then Purification tickets cost 50. You get all 5. Pretty good pickup as well. So in my opinion, #1 thing to get for most people is going to be the Spear. If you're not getting the Spear right away, get the Crystals. After that, get the Spears copies and get the Purification tickets. So if you get all 5 copies of the Spear, that's 250, 350 with the Twilight Crystals, and then 50 with the Purification tickets. So you could use 400 and you'll get the Spear, all copies of the Spear. You'll get 300 crystals, you'll get your 5 Purification tickets, and then you'll have 100 currency to be left over, which means you then could get 1 copy of Criminal's Heart at either the 100 or the 50, and then you would have 50 currency left over. So I'm going to test the theory about having currency left over. So I'm going to go and pick up the Snowflake Spear copies, and actually I probably will have enough to get 1-2 Criminal's Hearts, I think is what I'll do. So me personally, that's what I'm going to be doing, but I did have the luxury of having an extra Spear, so that does save me 50 currency. So that's going to be the video, guys. I just wanted to touch on the story stuff. You guys were aware of how much actual Twilight Crystals you guys are getting for the story clears, going over the Abyss mode, things like that, of what you guys, you know, can definitely be getting, and all that good stuff. If you have any questions of things I did not answer, you were not clear on, please drop them in the comment section down below, and myself or someone in the community will do their best to answer your question as accurately as possible. So if you guys did enjoy today's video, make sure you guys drop a like down below, hit subscribe if you guys are new, ring that bell so you don't miss the next upload here on the channel. Sorry it's a little longer than I thought, but I just wanted to go over everything very, very thoroughly for you guys. I hope you guys appreciate it, hope it was useful to you guys, and I hope you have an awesome weekend. Take care, guys, and good luck in your last Colosseum match today. Peace.